Change of pace.
Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast. Let's hop right into it. Sai and I are going to talk about a ton of new things in the NBA. We have a bunch of trades. Obviously, let's not bury the lead. The Giannis trade. It just happened. Here are the details. Giannis was traded along with Bobby Portis to the Heat for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Jonas, and three first-round picks, including the 13th pick in the draft tomorrow, and then one swap and one second round pick, whatever. These rumors have kind of been flying for like a year and a half now. We saw the Pistons were getting involved, Celtics getting involved. At the end of the day, it was Pat Riley and the Heat who landed Giannis. So I guess I don't know if he has a direct flight to Greece, but he stays in the East Coast. And I know we kind of talked about this being a big haul for him. I'm not totally sure that I'm surprised that a package with Jaylen Brown can't beat uh can't beat this. It feels like they got Tyler Hero, who people are pretty low on in the last few years. Jaime Jaquez had a great junior year. I'm in the NBA. Kasparis Yakich is going to be a sophomore this year. Not really shown too much. Khalil Ware again also shown flashes, but no one really knows who's a starter on a good team. And then three first round picks. What are your thoughts? Immediate reactions. Obviously crazy. Giannis got traded finally.
Yeah, I think it's a decent trade for both sides. I mean, Miami finally got a star. They're going to be lacking in depth, and they've kind of been middling in these last years since they made
Mhm.
the finals, which at that point we thought they were a middling team too. They're the eighth seed
Yeah.
in 2023, but they've just kind of been watering around the play-in, losing to the first round or losing in the play-in tournament. They haven't really gotten a playoff win since 2023, I believe. So it's been a tough round. Uh, so I think going in for Giannis, making a star push is kind of what they need at this point. Pat Riley, again, there's all these rumors to Miami. Like so many players have been wanting to go to Miami. Donovan Mitchell, longtime target.
Mm.
Giannis, again, another guy. Like basically everyone who's rumored is like, can Miami go after him? And at
Yeah.
this point, like I was kind of doubting it, especially with the JB Boston angle of it. I actually agree. I would have thought that's a better trade for them,
Yeah.
especially if they could have gotten like Hugo Gonzalez or like another like young air asset like Baylor Shireman from the
Mm.
Celtics. But what I do like about this trade for Milwaukee is their team, like Boston doesn't have good picks, right? I just expect them to be good. They're a good team right now. They're young. Jason Tatum's a very good player. Giannis and that team's very good. But Miami now is an old team, right? They have Bam, who's like 27, 28. Wiggins is kind of old. Norman Powell, if they re-sign him, is kind of old. Like they don't really have a lot of guys who are really young and upcoming. Without these assets, it's really to rely on Giannis, um, who's
Like,
a older player who's gotten into a lot of injury troubles. So the picks value here, I think, is just a lot better. But at the same time, it is Spoelstra. It is the Miami culture that always finds ways to at least be mediocre.
yeah.
That's my angle of it. I just think the Celtics have a longer runway of being good than Miami does, and this is their move, right? So if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, there's a chance it goes really bad, and that's what you're hoping to capitalize on if you're the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I think about your point of, I mean, they still have Bam. Bam is a few years younger than Giannis. I think those two together are going to be good for at least 5 years. I think like Giannis at like 36, he's probably still, I don't know, at worst a top 20 player in my opinion. I don't think his athleticism is going to have some crazy steep, like some steep decline. I know injury concerns are a thing, but I would think him and Bam together is consistently a top eight team in this mediocre Eastern Conference. I mean, I'm not sure what it's going to look like in 5 years, but I don't think that these picks are going to be anything crazy. Like, this isn't like him getting traded to the Warriors, where you literally lose everything when Steph retires and that team is Giannis and bums, right? It's still the Heat.
Yep.
It's still the Heat just find a way to be at worst, like you said, a middling team. Like, they're not going to be worse than a 10 seed. And a lot of times they're probably not going to be better than a 6 seed. But with Giannis and Bam over the next few years, I don't think those picks are going to be anything crazy. So I feel like they could have gotten a bigger haul for him. But at the same time, I feel like like they took Giannis's like feelings into consideration. Like I think the Heat were definitely a team that he was interested in getting traded to. And he's the clear number one option, not even a conversation there. Um, And yeah, the Greece thing, I'm sure that's still like a topic of conversation for him. Where does this kind of put the Heat for you in the Eastern Conference contender tiers?
It's interesting. I don't know. It's hard to say. Right now, I wouldn't be too high on them personally, which sucks to say, but they're a really top-loaded team. There's still question marks about their starting lineup with Wiggins be having a player option. We don't know if he's accepting that. Norman Powell is a free agent, another guy who didn't get a lot of minutes for the second half of the year, especially when he was like an all-star player last year.
Yeah.
So there's some question marks there as well. So again, not a lot of depth as well. They have Pelly Larson, Bobby Portis off the bench, not really a lot of guys, maybe Drew Smith. So in a league where like depth matters a whole lot, we saw a lot of teams in the playoffs really succeed because of their depth and lose despite because of it as well.
Mhm.
I would say I probably rank them around fourth. I think I believe more in the Knicks, I believe more in the Pacers, and I believe more in the Celtics. I think those three kind of a little ahead of them, but I think Miami is definitely in that top one tier. I think all four of those teams kind of in that one tier to me. I'll give the Knicks credit. Maybe I'll put them a tier ahead just because they won it real most recently. They've shown to beat the Celtics. Indiana might be their Achilles heel. We don't really know because they have beaten them in two playoffs back to back. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I'd have them, number four. How about you?
I mean, like when you look at who they traded, I don't know how much outside of Jaime, how much like valuable production were they really getting this year from any of these guys is my
I
question.
mean,
And Tyler
Hero,
Hero was hurt
Hero,
from,
yeah.
not hurt for a lot of the year this year. Tyler Hero,
The
he's
first
been
half, a
hurt.
lot of, yeah.
And that was when Norman Powell was killing it, and they still have Norman Powell, and they still
Right.
have. I totally forgot Andrew Wiggins is still on this team, and like I would hope that he stays on it. And seeing they just got Giannis, those three in your front court, that's an elite defensive front court, right? You have
Yep.
Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell. Not a terrible backcourt, honestly, to have, especially when you see who the other three guys in that roster are. Bobby Portis as your sixth man off your bench. You're not complaining about that. I feel like they could make a few more moves. I'm not really sure how much money they have left to spend, like maybe a vet minimum um, on
Yeah.
someone. Maybe they can make another move. Maybe they could trade. They still have Simone Fontecchio. I don't think he was very good this year, but they have Simone
No.
Fontecchio. He was okay. And like you said, yeah, they have Drew Smith. They still have Nikola Jovic, also had a down year this year. But they
Oh,
have
yeah. I'm
like
surprised he's not in the deal because he is a younger guy.
and he's been bad. Like he's been
Yeah.
really, really bad this year. Huge drop off from last year. But they have a few like okay guys. Like that's why I guess your take kind of confuses me just because like of those guys you mentioned, Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez were genuinely like they helped them win games. Um, but those guys are expendable. Like they've always been expendable. Like you're replacing them with Giannis. I think we're overthinking just a bit by not putting the Heat in like I can see them being better than the Pacers next year. The Pacers, they no longer have Miles Turner. We're not sure how the Ivica Zubac's fit is going to be or his health, right? We're not sure what the fuck Tyrese Halliburton's going to be next year, if he's even going to start the year on that team. Like
I think he'll
start the
start
year.
the year. Pretty confident he'll start the year at this point.
He's been through a lot, man. I don't know.
I mean, okay.
Um,
To your point, I will say I agree. They didn't give up a ton of depth pieces. Jaime was
he was
potential
good.
six man of the year, right? Hero closed the year as a starter. Norm Powell probably came off the bench, so you lose a six man there as well. And then yeah, the other guys, Jonas, Kel'el Ware was a big he was a starting center
A
some of the
wild
time.
card.
He's a
Yeah.
wild card for sure. I agree. But I do say this is a 10th seed, right? This was the number 10 seed, lost in the play-in tournament in the game one. They're so far away from a contender. That's my point. So adding Giannis is a big deal for sure. But
Yeah.
it's not so you take away three and a half utility players, you add Giannis, they're still not as close a team as like the Pistons, sorry, not the Pistons, as the Celtics, as the Knicks, as the Pacers, in my opinion, who have shown they have the ability to get to the final stage. Like a lot of these guys are question marks, in my opinion. And also, spacing is pretty questionable. Norm Powell is really the only shooter on the roster that you really trust. Wiggins, question mark.
Jokic. I don't know. I feel like
Davion,
Davion.
he's like a 40%, but like on three attempts a game kind of guy, four attempts a game. It's not a real shooter. Norman Powell's like a real shooter. Bam can space the floor, not a great shooter. Wiggins can space the floor, not a great shooter.
I don't know. The thing is, like, you put Giannis on the court, I feel like it opens up the court for people. Like
I
it,
agree, but like you can
we
also collapse it on Giannis and make it difficult for him at the same time. Like I'm not saying this is a bad team. I'm just saying I don't see this as like a tier. I think they're in that tier. They could definitely rise to it. I think the injury concerns and the lack of shooting, as well as the lack of depth, those kind of all add to me. Like this could be one of the best defenses in the league and the playoffs at their best, but at their worst, they could be a really, stagnant offense with no secondary creator, with not a
Yeah.
lot of great shooting. And then again, injury concerns are always there. So like I don't see them above those other three teams. And then teams like the Pistons, teams like yeah, I think the Pistons are really the only other guys who are kind of in that team. Maybe the Cavs, of course, who made the
Yeah,
conference finals this
Cavs.
year. I think they're better than those two teams, but I think they're right under the other three, I would say.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, I feel like you can't get a better fit next to Giannis than Bam in the league.
I I mean, maybe
I don't know. Bam can kind of handle the basketball. He's not a bad playmaker. He's not a bad actually, I don't even know what he shot for mid range. I feel like he's a good mid range shooter though. Bam is.
he takes them.
Definitely takes a
They look
lot.
good. They look
Definitely takes a
okay,
lot.
but I
Yeah.
don't think he's like super effective at it. No.
I mean, Wiggins shot 41% from three this year on five attempts.
Again, Bam shoots like 45% from the field, like as a center, you know what I mean?
Uh,
44%, yeah. He's
hmm.
not like a super effective offensive player. And
Oh,
again, I do agree having Giannis is going to open it up, but the way he likes to play, it's not like he's a three-point shooter, you know what I mean? He can space the floor, but he likes to get into the paint himself. So I think Giannis is not going to make it easier for him necessarily at that point. But there are other ways, like in the dunker spot, like well on Giannis drives, that Bam can be super effective there. And like, handoffs and stuff like that, running 4-5 pick and roll. There's options.
throw the ball. They could even do it inverted pick and roll with Bam.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally, they could figure something out. It all depends. They also have Eric Spoelstra as a coach,
Right.
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's the best coach Giannis has had since Jason. I mean, he's definitely better than Jason Kidd, but like it's the best coach Giannis had. Even Mike Budenholzer wasn't bad, but I'd be curious to see what Eric Spoelstra can do with Giannis.
My
And
point is, as a Thunder fan, like, as a team that's like has championship expectations next year, I'm not worried about the Heat as I am the other three teams. That's I kind of think my point is at. Like
no,
Miami
exactly.
doesn't scare me with this roster right now. Things can change, of course, than like a Celtics team can at their best, which again, we've seen them at their worst at times too, losing and blowing a 3-1 lead to the 76ers.
Mhm.
But Pacers obviously took us to game seven. The Knicks, very, very good team. You see the dominance that they showed in this playoff run.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about the Heat personally.
Yeah. I mean, they need a dynamic point guard next to
Hmm.
these guys. They just don't have that. Davion Mitchell is definitely more of an off ball guard than a point guard. I'm not sure who they could possibly go after, but
Right. And
imagine.
maybe that's something they figured out like at the trade deadline. Because
Yeah.
then again, this is an old team, you know what I mean? Like Wiggins is in his 30s. Norm Powell is in his 30s.
They're
Mitch,
all in their 30s, damn near. Bam and Adebayo
yeah,
like 28, David Mitchell like
28.
25.
He might be older than that, even like
Hold on.
26,
He
27.
was like, yeah, he was like 4 years and he's 27. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like not a young team at
It's
all.
not a young team. So that's kind of where I'm like, I don't know what the avenue for growth is. They might just be stuck at like a pretty good team. I
Hmm.
don't see them as like a tier one contender unless Giannis is like best in the world. And of course he
Yeah.
can get to that, but the league's so talented that maybe like it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Okay. Do you wanna give a rating for each of these teams? Like
Yeah, yeah. Uh, for Miami, I think you gave up as much as you can give up, but you won the sweepstakes. You know what I mean? You went for the star, you got it. Um, I think it was time to make a swing, honestly. Like they just were always too bad or too good to get a bad pick. I'm fucking up my sentence. Too good to get a high pick, too bad to do anything in the playoffs. So this is a swing in a direction, right? And I think Spo and their Heat culture is just so determined to not be a terribly bad. They're never gonna really get a star. So I think this is kind of the way to go about it. Like Jimmy Butler is kind of like a once in a time player where you can get like a guy who's in that top 10 level who can like be a playoff riser and take you to the finals in a weak Eastern Conference. Like I just feel like that's not a very likely outcome at this point with how good the East is getting. So I really like the trade for the Heat. I think they did a good job in like getting what they wanted and like going for the star. So I'll give them like a B plus. Again, a lot of value. It's an old team. I need to figure out how they kind of create the surrounding pieces for the bench and like how they figure that out. And then for the Bucks, I actually agree. I think the Heat package, I would have preferred would have preferred the Bucks package, like or not the Bucks, the Celtics package, sorry.
Yeah.
With Jaylen Brown, two picks, maybe get Hugo Gonzalez or Baylor Shireman, like two, and then Jaylen Brown you can trade for another guy. Like he was an MVP candidate this year. Trade him to a team that would, give him four first round picks for that. And I think you can get good value out of those picks because Jaylen Brown's not like he's like a top 15, top 20 player who's not gonna, blow the doors off of any franchise and make him super good. So
Yeah.
I think that was probably the better angle. And so because of that, I'll probably give the Bucks like a C plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give the Heat an A. Like you
Okay.
had, I don't know what your alternative is here. Like you're gonna stay in purgatory the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's fine. Like you got like in every single series leading up to the finals, you will have the best player. You cannot complain about that, right? So I honestly think great job. You won it. And you somehow got away with having a worse, like you didn't give up Wiggins. I mean, I don't know, like Wiggins says that he's expiring, right? But you didn't give up like anyone terribly valuable to your team. Like Hero has
True. Yeah.
they've been trying to get rid of Hero. Like he's been the one in on the trade block and they got Giannis. And then Jaime Jaquez, like who knows if he turns back into a pumpkin next year. I think you got, yeah. And then yeah, Bucks, it's like it's difficult. I don't know what a better package exactly could have been. Like Jaylen Brown is great. I feel like you would want younger pieces. I just don't know like a Thunder package, for example, would have been way better than this. Like if for some reason they were
I
willing
don't
to
think
get
they were
him,
ever
like,
going for it. It seemed like there were three teams in the running, and these were three of Giannis's preferred teams as well. It
yeah,
was the Celtics, Timberwolves, and Heat. And I feel like the Heat were probably the worst option for Giannis
yeah,
personally. Just the second option is the worst by far.
yeah.
With Bam.
They
Um,
definitely could have gotten more, but
it's
Tyler
like
Hero's back
what is
home.
more though? Like what is more from the Heat
I feel
though?
like you want one like legit future piece, unless this 13th pick turns into something great,
Right. I
or
think
one of these
that's one
picks
of the
next year.
appeals too, is like they just wanted more bites at the apple at this draft, which
I
is a
get
good
it.
draft. And it's just harder to imagine like what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
that feels like the reason. But I think like if you could have gotten Jaylen Brown and traded him to Atlanta and gotten the eighth pick and maybe a couple more picks, would have
Yeah.
been a better outcome in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Maybe
agree.
yeah. So I personally, yeah, that's why I'm like lower on the Bucks side.
Yeah, I'd also give it like a C. I think a C is C. I can't like yeah, maybe C plus is fair. I struggle with this. Like I feel like you get a bunch of picks, but I feel like having one real like Jaime Jaquez is not a to be like a doesn't move me enough as a
Khalil
young.
Ware is probably the closest. Like if you
Yeah.
can get him the ball, maybe he has
No
some
one
potential.
respects him. Like no one on the Heat respected him, despite all the
Yeah.
numbers he put up. Eric Spoelstra did not respect him.
It's because he's
Kelly,
not a winning player at this point, but he's a
not,
guy who can put up good numbers on a bad team. I see
yeah.
his potential in that way.
Yes,
I
Hassan
mean,
Whiteside potential, great. Like I don't, it's just not this. I don't know. I
I
don't.
agree. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the biggest edge of the night. I would say like an hour or two before the Giannis trade, we saw the Wolves get off of Julius Randle's contract, and we're like, oh shit, if they're getting off Randle, maybe they're going after Giannis. No, Randle just fucking sucks, and his contract is $33 million. They wanted to get off of it. So along with that, they signed Ayo Dosunmu to a pretty big extension, 5 years, $112 million. Nick Claxton goes to the Bulls, and the Bulls trade Mo Gay to the Timberwolves. And the 28th pick also goes to the Nets.
Not even the good Moge. It's a different guy named Moge.
Is it actually? Oh yeah, Mo Gay
Yeah.
to the Hawks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the real storyline here, we can forget about Claxton. That's fine. He's on the Bulls now. But what's really relevant is that the Wolves basically chose Io and his chemistry with Anthony Edwards over Julius Randle, who had an atrocious playoffs this year. And like a very mediocre, like I think solid stint with the Timberwolves. It doesn't help that Karl Anthony Towns and the Knicks won a year after trading Randall. But yeah, what do you make of this? What do you like? Dosunmu he publicly said he was trying to go after the money this offseason. We thought he was off the Wolves, but they really needed him. He had some huge games in the playoffs before his injury, of course. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really,
It's
yeah.
sorry, I was just gonna say it's really tough as the Wolves. Like again, like you said, the cat trade. A year ago, I would have said the Wolves won the cat trade, and which is crazy how things
Yeah.
change so quickly. Like just the cat, like with the DiVincenzo tearing his Achilles, Julius Randle just being so horrible in that Spurs series. Um, but yeah, it sucks because looking at this, it would seem like Julius Randle's a negative asset, and I don't agree with that necessarily. Again, I think he has 2 more years left on his deal at 33 million, which I think is an adequate number for the player he is.
Yeah.
He's still a good player, near all-star caliber. He has his rough playoff moments, especially in difficult defensive matchups. But I think as a regular season innings eater, like a guy who can really get you to the postseason, and then even in the first 2 rounds, maybe again, if you're not playing like a real contender, he can really step up and play like to basically have to give him up plus the 28th pick for the 33. Like you're treating him as a negative player. And
Yeah.
it's just shows how desperate the Wolves are to get off of his contract, how kind of close they feel, how much they need that cap flexibility. They created a $33 million trade exception in this deal, which I hope they use for something kind
Yeah.
of bigger, maybe like a Kyrie Irving move is in the future. Like that's a needle mover that they might be interested in. Kawhi Leonard. We don't really know. Those are like guys who have been rumored as having possible interest. Like Anthony Edwards has kind of reached out to he said he's interested in having Kyrie Irving. Kawhi Leonard is another guy who can kind of fit this roster. But yeah, it's like I hope they have something else in mind because you trading away your second star for like less than what you gave up
Yeah.
for re-signing, your backup point guard. Again, Io, great player, dropped 43 in the playoffs. That that Nuggets series was electric from him, but it's just like I just need to see the direction from here. Like as a Wolves fan, I'm sure you're really confused. And as much as Julius Randle left a bad taste in your mouth, I would prefer to get something for him instead of having to give up something for him. You know what I mean? To give
Yeah.
him up. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me. It's like, where are the Wolves really going from here? I feel like Randall, he's better than Ayo Dosunmu. So like their ceiling to me now is kind of lower than it was. I just don't know
Yeah,
what
for sure.
move. Like they're gonna be worse than they were last year.
Hmm.
Especially, I mean, forget about the Dante injury for a second. This team is just worse without Randall. Like you don't have a second legitimate scorer. Jaden McDaniels in the playoffs, for some reason, he can't replicate that for an 82 game regular season,
I mean, he
offensively.
wasn't good in the Spurs series even. Like he could not shoot at all. But
This,
that
this
The Nuggets series for sure.
was insane. Yeah. I'm not really sure who. There has to be another move out there for these
So
guys.
I mean, John Krasinski said they're starting Naz Reid at the four. That removes your sixth man. Your depth is already limited as it is. You gave up a lot of picks for Rob Dillingham. I'm just like you don't really have a lot of assets to move. So I feels like you kind of have to go all in now.
This
Again,
is
Jaden
tough.
McDaniels, is that your second best player? Is that like a guy who could be a secondary creator?
No.
I don't get it. Like I think this can be a good team, like a playoff level team. Maybe. That's it. That's a maybe at this point to me, honestly. So like I
Yeah.
really need to see the direction. Like if they go all in for Kawhi or Kyrie, then I can definitely be like, this makes a lot more sense. But also IO contract, I think is pretty decent value. Like he seems like he's
It's
about,
20,
I think it's about like Alex Caruso money.
it's
And I
like
think he's
22
about,
million. It
yeah,
makes total, it's totally fair for Ayo.
I
Ayo is
agree.
better than Alex Caruso is, in my opinion. Like I don't know. I think
I don't think so. But
really
yeah. I mean, again, Caruso can't drop 43 in the playoffs, but just like game to game impact, I'd
in
probably pick
his role, I
Caruso
think this role Ayo is way more. It can perform better than Alex Caruso as
for
someone who
sure. I
needs
mean,
to
yeah,
score
Caruso's role is a lot smaller, but
as
in
an
his
elite role
minutes, he's
player.
like a game-changing role
Yeah,
player.
that's fair. That's fair. Um, yeah, I don't know. The Timberwolves basically gave up Randall for nothing. Like they gave him
Well,
up for
again,
nothing.
it's that trade exception that we'll have to see if they do anything with, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they go for, I don't even know what contracts they have. Maybe they trade Dante's contract because they're going all in this year with the trade exception with a pick or two for Kyrie. Like
Yeah.
I could see that as a possibility. I don't know
And
where the direction they
for
go
post
is.
ACL tear, Kyrie, who hasn't played in like a year and a half.
I mean,
Oh,
Ant wanted it. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Ant can't be your point guard this season, bro.
yeah.
I don't know
On
who
the Nets side, what do you think about getting Randall? Like it's an interesting fit for they don't have a
huge
lot of
time.
size on that roster.
They have a
Randall,
bunch of 6'8" point guards,
yeah.
but I don't know. It's like weird with him and MPJ, and And they're both just tradable. They should just, I think they should just trade both these guys. They have, like, each of those guys should probably fetch you a couple first rounders, maybe. You think a team's willing to give up two late first rounders for Julius Randle?
I mean, you just gave him for less than that. Like you had to give something up to get rid of him. I'm kind of confused by that. If you think that, I mean, I guess the point is to get rid of all that money as well. You probably have to take on a bad contract in exchange
Yeah.
for it. But like, still, it's like, is his value anything?
Well, I mean, we thought this about Michael Porter Jr., and then he had a great season in Brooklyn, and now MPJ's value is way higher. Like, remember how bad it was after that Nugget series?
For sure.
What was it, against the Thunder? Played like
Yeah,
ass.
with the shoulder
So
injury.
yeah, he has a lot more opportunity now with MPJ. So you could see that's why I kind of foresee like both their values kind of being pretty high. Randall can
Yeah,
easily put up 25 a game in the regular season on decent efficiency too. Like he'll be good. He could be an all-star, honestly. Like he's probably better than Mike Porter Jr. is at this role of being like the best, the number one option on a shitty team.
for sure.
So I
Yeah, I
mean,
think it's different though because we have such a large sample size with Randall that we didn't have with MPJ. Like we had MPJ
yeah,
in the Jokic third shooting kind of role. Like that's
he
like a
was good in
specific
that.
role, and he was great. But
Yeah,
it's also like a very specific role with one of the best players in the NBA. So this is like a very different thing you're seeing him. But with Randall, it's like he's played the one in New York. He's played the two in New York behind Jalen Brunson. He's played the two in Anthony Edwards. In all these situations, he's had moments where he's been very consistent and like but at the same time, he's also been kind of a turmoil in New York. He's caused problems with the fan base and like it just hasn't been a real contributor in the playoffs. He's had really bad moments and has some like a couple of moments here and there with the Wolves where he's kind of shown. But it feels like it's much more of a known quantity that you're trading. So like he can rebuild
true.
his value maybe a little bit, but yeah, at the same time, I don't think you're fetching whole lot more. I think MPJ for sure, but at the same time, the Nets don't have their first round pick, so like, who knows what their plan is? Maybe they just kind of like this team and they think Randall's like a good vet to have around with whatever point guards they got on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about the Randall thing because it's also just his play style. It's less, you can't just kind of like take him and put him in any system as a
Right.
third option and expect him to just seamlessly fit in like you can MPJ. That's a good point. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what the Nets are doing. But like you said, they don't have their pick, so they're trying to win games, I guess. They're not gonna win a lot of games, but I with Julius Randle and MPJ, I could see it being like a 33 win team. How many they win this year? Like 25?
The Nets,
Yeah. I
they
remember
were really bad. I mean, they
seeing
got the sixth pick. They were like third in odds.
must have been around 25 then, no?
Sorry, I got to pull up the standings. They won 20 games.
20 games. All right. Yeah. And they were like really trying to lose to close the year. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, like this team with MPJ and Randall in the East, I think they could win like 33 games. I think that's a very
Yeah, it's
fair
possible.
amount of
They
games
don't
for
have a
them.
center anymore though. that is an interesting thing. Nick Claxton goes to the Bulls.
Aaron Sharp, is he still on that roster?
He is on that roster.
Yeah, I guess that's what. And Noah Clowney, the
Yeah.
undersized. Well, I don't know I have no idea what they're doing.
Their
And they
roster's kind of
wasted,
insane.
they wasted 5 picks last season. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Nick Claxton to the Bulls? He has 2 years left on his deal. Total 46 million.
Yeah.
45 million. Yeah.
I don't know. I I don't really have I don't really have any thoughts on Nick Claxton to the Bulls. I don't really know what the Bulls are doing. It's kind of like the rebuild, like restarting. They got Josh Giddey. They got what's it called? They have what pick? They have a fifth pick, right?
Fourth, four.
Fourth pick. Yeah. I think that's a big we'll get into it, but I don't know that Caleb Wilson is the right person to draft if I'm that, just because I feel like they have a lot of like big wings like Matas and Noah Sengwe. And they still have Patrick Williams for some reason. And Josh Giddey. I feel like you want again, like I think Kevin O'Connor who said this. Someone was mentioning, and I agree completely. It's like you might want to take a swing at one of the guards if you're the Bulls, like a Darius Acuff, um, someone who can score consistently, because you don't really have like a 20 to 25 point per game starting. Where that's kind of what Kobe White was doing for you.
Right.
And when the Bulls looked their best is when Kobe White was having those big games because like those guys fit well around. Like Matas would fit very, very well. next to someone like a Darius Akoff. Even Giddy would fit well, even though there'd be no defense being played in that backcourt. Giddy would fit well next to someone who could score the basketball and stretch the floor, and who's also an excellent playmaker. Versus Caleb Williams, similar. I'm not Caleb. Sorry, Caleb Wilson, similar to
Same
like
city.
Matas in his like rookie year. It's like yeah, same city. It's like kind of a raw prospect, and you don't like he shows flashes. He has the tools to be an excellent defender. He has a high motor, but you there's a very rough around the edges in terms of like scoring and even defense at times.
Yeah.
Um, so
Here's what I'll say about this. Going back to Claxton, I think I agree with your point. It's a weird team for sure. I think they're fine being a weird team as though. I think they'd rather go for talent at this point, and I think Caleb Wilson is the talent. So that's my
mm,
take on it. So like I agree the fit isn't there, but I don't really care too much about it. This is a
yeah,
young team. They're kind of a new
definitely.
GM. They're going from a new starting point. And they're kind of evaluating, right? With these new GMs, they like to reevaluate kind of the prospects they have in a different situation. So like go for talent, go for the guys you like. And we've seen that Bryson Graham, his tendency is like he kept saying slap, right? Size, length, athleticism, physicality. That is Caleb Wilson to a T.
That is Caleb Wilson.
So I think that's the direction they'll go, even though it doesn't make a ton of sense to have all these like 6'8", 6'9" big wings who can
Yeah,
have some skills, which I do agree with. Like, I don't know how the fit with Matas and Caleb Wilson and Noah Senge turns out. But at the same time, Senge might be a nothing. So like, why even think about him? Maybe Matas becomes a shooter and can really space the floor around Caleb Wilson. Maybe Caleb Wilson's a generational defensive prospect. I'd rather go for the talent play here. And then with
yeah,
Claxton, I think this team didn't have a center. Jalen Smith was their starting center at this point. So having this guy who isn't, it's not a huge commitment, only 2 more years. He's, 27, but he runs the floor really well. He can play defense. I think with Giddy, like a team that I think is just going to be like, we're going to play fast as hell, is run up and down the floor with Modest flying down the lane, Caleb Wilson, who we expect them to draft, Josh Giddy just running the floor, passing outlet passes. This is going to be a really fast, fun team with Clax. Everyone just running and dunking. I think that's just kind of the
yeah,
idea and identity of this roster at this point. But yeah, Claxton for getting for nothing, I think it's pretty good. I
yeah.
don't think it's bad.
I
I think
definitely
he's
think
done
that
a
the
good job.
team is good. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do a quick trade for the grades for these?
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, no, I think all your points about the Bulls is correct. Like having Giddy next to like a lob threat like Claxton and Buzelis is nice. And then yeah, if you throw Caleb Wilson in there, it's another guy who can again catch lobs for you on the break and maybe play a little bit of defense. So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess Bulls just getting involved in this for basically nothing. I'll give it a B plus. And
Yeah,
then um Timberwolves, like I don't know. Like it's hard to believe that they couldn't package Randle and someone else for like a going in all in on Giannis or something. Um, I don't know. I'd probably give this like a C for the Timberwolves. It just felt like kind of unnecessary. Yeah, I think it was kind of unnecessary. I know you get your dream of Naz Reid starting, but I just don't think Naz Reid is like at that level to consider. Like, I don't think Naz Reid is going to suddenly start putting up 20 points a game, dude. And who else
I don't
is
think so
even?
either.
Yeah. And then
The Nets.
anyone else in this trade? Nets. Oh yeah. Doing. Um, I, how do you not get a pick? Like a good, like they went from 33 to 28, I guess, in this. I don't know. And I feel like you could Nick Claxton like was definitely like someone contenders wanted. You could have maybe gotten a late first for him. Yeah, I'd probably give it C minus to the Nets. Not really sure what
Really.
they're doing there. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
kind of like you said, I kind of don't hate it for the Nets personally because the Nets and the Bulls, I think, were the top two teams with money and free agency. Not a ton of
Mhm.
free agents out there that are really going to go to the either of these teams. So I think in that case, like getting guys who could be positive value adds for basically nothing on both of them, and like even getting value out of the Randall addition, like not complaining personally. I think the Nets did a decent job with this, so I'll give them like a B plus. I think the Bulls did even better. I think I'll give them like an A minus to an A. And then
Mhm.
the Wolves again, very confusing. I think that trade exception is going to have to be massive. Maybe they save it for later at the trade deadline. But like, yeah, I like having Io on the roster, and I know Randle, wasn't the greatest, but just the fact that you lose talent for nothing basically is just tough. So I'd probably give them a C. But if they turn it around, get like a Kawhi Leonard, get a Kyrie Irving, I'll feel a lot better about it. So
Mhm.
it's really dependent on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just don't know that they can get a because the Warriors gonna get Kawhi, dude. I don't know like what. Yeah, I don't know how these guys are gonna swing for Kawhi.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of funny. I feel like we talked about this trade more than Giannis, which is like it's just been waiting for so long. It feels like there's not much to talk about. You know what I mean? Like the
I don't think
drama
there
isn't
is a
really
lot
there.
to talk about with the like. I think
Yeah,
we covered everything we need to talk about for the Giannis trade. This one is just puzzling for the like from the Timberwolves point of view.
right,
It's just surprising. Like we don't even hate like we knew that this iteration of the Timberwolves wasn't gonna win with Randle as their second player, but this also might not be the direction for you guys to go in. So yeah.
right.
Okay, quickly let's touch on the Trey extension and the Wiggins trade. So Trey Young got a 4-year, $212 million extension with the Hawks. I mean the Hawks, the Wizards. It's a backloaded contract, which is insane. So in like 4 years or 5 years, he's gonna be making $60 million a year. Definitely a contender for the worst contract in the NBA if like the way we feel about Trey Young right now holds true in 4 years. Um, yeah, I guess the Wizards have really picked a direction. There's been rumors that Anthony Davis doesn't even want to play for them. I'm not really sure if that's gonna work out. Maybe with the number one pick and Trey Young and Anthony Davis and like Keyshawn George and Trey Johnson or all these guys, they are somehow good, but the timelines just don't fully match up, and the injury concerns with AD is kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know why. I guess you have to. I guess like just the appease Trey, you have to kind of lock him up and hope he's tradable in a few years. Him next to AJ could be cool. Like the fit is good. The fit would be great actually. With him and AD, it's an amazing fit. And with AJ too. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just insane overpay. I don't think it's as like backloaded as people say just because the cap percentage is always going up. I think by 29-30, it's 29.8% of the cap. Right now it's 30% of the cap, like the next
Oh,
incoming
okay.
season. So like the same, it's not like a crazy back like overpay in the
Mhm.
future or anything. It's just the fact that you're paying this terrible contract to a like again, a good point guard, a guy who's gonna make your teammates better, a guy who's gonna help AJ's development. But the fact that you got him for 4 years, like I would have been okay with this contract for 2 years. That's fine. Like a 60 million contract even. But the fact that it's for four, like you have AJ DeBonsa or whoever you're gonna end up drafting on this rookie scale contract. By the time it's over, basically, now you have to pay him. And then you lose all that flexibility that you could have had with by Trey Young. So I just think it's a horrible overpay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So like again, 2 years would have been fine with it. That's probably the way I would have gone to it. But like you didn't give up much for him, right? Like you give a
Yeah.
Corey Fisper and CJ McCollum, like why are you so all in on Trey Young? And I'd rather be, if I'm being honest, would rather be more all in on Anthony Davis at this point than
Oh
Trey Young.
wow. That's quite a take.
I mean, it's just I don't trust Trey Young to be like he's not worth this money, dude. At his best, Anthony Davis is worth this money, even though he's not going to be always at his best. At his best, Trey Young is not even close to worth this money. That's just my point, you know?
I think they're both. It's a weird team. I don't know
Yeah.
why these guys are both on their team. Like imagine if they were able to trade or like yeah, trade Trey Young and AD for like more young pieces or yeah, picks.
Now you made him untradeable too. It's like
Yeah,
it's
no, it's not.
horrible.
Stupid. Yeah, they could have easily kind of had like showcased Trey and AD this year and then traded them at the trade deadline.
Right.
He's AD especially they could have traded at the trade deadline if he showed like that he was still
Like
healthy, dude.
like even Trey Young, like giving him a player option too, like team option would have been better. So it's a 3-year contract. Like, come on, like at the end of the day, they're giving all the power to this guy who's like hasn't played a game for them. Or has Trey played a game? He's played a couple games, my bad. But
No, he
like,
played like 2 games. He played like
yeah,
one. He came out of hiding for like one game and then he dipped.
exactly. So like, yeah, like what are we
He
doing?
played 5 games, yeah. But
I just don't agree with this at all.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I don't agree with the thing at all.
Like
Um,
I saw someone say they got did so much to get out of the Bradley Beal trade, or like the Bradley
just
Beal
to get the
contract.
same contract to this guy.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to the final piece of news. Actually, second to last piece of news. Quick trade update. Aaron Wiggins from Size Thunder was traded to the Hawks for two for future second round picks. Thunder is kind of getting rid of some money. Aaron Wiggins didn't play for like the better part of this year. Just fully fell out of the rotation along with Isaiah Joe. And he had a down year from last year. He showed a lot of flashes as like a very, very solid role player. He could hit the three and play some solid defense, put the ball on the floor. Sai, you can take it from here. What are your thoughts on this trade?
Yeah, it just sucks. First player to leave other than like Dylan Jones, who didn't really get any minutes from the championship team, right? Like we had basically ran it back last year. So that kind of hurts to lose one of the players that won us the chip and was really instrumental in some big playoff moments. I think game four against the Pacers had like three big threes. You just kind of remember those moments and the championship speech and all of that. But at the end of the day, we knew you had to give up players to keep like they're not going to go this deep into the second apron for a team like as good as a team as the Thunder are. It just didn't make sense to pay. Like the thing is, Aaron Wiggins is not a great contract. He's making $10 million for the next 3 years, basically like
Yeah.
$30 million, and it's a descending contract. But he just hasn't shown enough signs over the last year where he's like a real role player on a championship contender. I'm hoping he, recuperates the value, kind of takes those Corey Kispert minutes from the Hawks, becomes a guy who can shoot the three, put the ball on the floor, like you said, and was really a great player for us in moments. Like I think someone said, like, he had a 40-point game, so people kind of overrate him, especially OKC fans. So I probably do. Um,
No, I don't know. Watching the playoffs last year, it felt that guy would like he would always hit his first three.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, he was good.
And then this year was just awful. Like Wemby would leave him in the open in the corner, and he used to be like a knockdown corner 3-point shooter. Just couldn't hit him this year. Like yeah, he just wasn't a viable player in the playoffs at all. He was like the 13th man. So like it makes sense you trade him. I think the value was fine. It's weird because the year ago he would have been worth like more, you would think. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not really much to say. It's like the Thunder kind of struggle just having too many guys, and you might as well get the value out of them now while you can. And again, I foresee Isaiah Joe getting traded as well, potentially just because Jared McCain kind of took most of his minutes last season. I mean, to close this season. Uh, but I think, again, I said this on the chat too, this could be like a very similar McCain situation where Aaron Wiggins goes ahead and averages like 15 points a game on the Hawks or like 13 points a game as a role player on the Hawks. They could definitely use him too. So yeah.
All right. Oh, you want to? We could grade it real quick, just because why not?
Yeah,
Just the way
Hawks
I've been.
are a very great buy low option. I
Yeah.
give it an A. Like, why not? You don't even know if Kuminga's coming back. You could use the scoring. And
Yeah.
then you're quick to re-sign CJ McCollum. They clearly have pretty high egos because they took 2 games off the championship Knicks more than any other team in the playoffs did.
Right. Yep.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think the Hawks I'd give like an A minus. Like again, second 2 seconds, the contract he's on, very low value, very low risk. And then the Thunder, you had to do what you had to do, probably because B minus. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a B is fine just because like it's easy to say they should have traded him earlier, but he was good earlier, and I guess like
Yeah, exactly.
it's like, yeah, you can't really do anything about it. Last bit of news, Michigan head coach Dusty May has signed a contract with the Mavericks to be their new head coach. Of course, they won the championship in 2026 with the Wolverines. So Mavs doing like, I don't know, it's a great signing. I don't really know much else to really say about him. Got a ton of guys in this draft from Michigan. Um, and yeah, new beginnings for them. I mean, you would think of him maybe as a developmental coach because of his time as a college coach, and maybe that's a big help for Cooper and maybe get Derek Lively's career back on track along with whoever they pick in the first round with like I think the eighth pick they have or the ninth pick. Um, it also kind of brings up question marks about Kyrie Irving's future on the Mavericks. There's been rumblings about him leaving, um, and not really sure where that's going to go. But you would think the Mavs kind of want to start from scratch with signing such a young, like as someone who has been around like younger players. So Clay and Kyrie's futures on the Mavs kind of a question mark to me.
Yeah, Dusty May, like seems like a really good coach. Really focused on size this year. Like his team was really big, focus, like really good defensively. Just dominated the glass. Like really big possession team. Who knows what he'll bring to the NBA? I'm not like a huge like college guy, so I don't know exactly like what his strengths and weaknesses are as a coach. But yeah, it's pretty cool. He's gonna bring like a winning, mentality as a college coach who's won before very recently. And the last first college head coach to take an NBA job since 2019, Jim Beeline for the Cavs.
Oh,
So it's
right.
been a
Yeah.
while.
Was it
Most of
Jim
the
or yeah, Jim Beeline or John Beeline? That's how you get, I believe you. Yeah.
John
Sorry.
Beeline, my bad. Yeah,
It was John. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it usually doesn't work out very well. I feel like Fred Hoiberg, I remember joining the Bulls, that did not go well. And then what's it called? The UConn coach, remember he was gonna join. They gave him
yep.
Lakers gave
This
him
is the
like
Lakers. Yeah, Dan Hurley.
yeah, Dan Hurley, and then he dipped. He didn't take the offer, and then people are pissed off about that. Yeah, I don't know. Who was the last college coach to really do well?
Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens has because Billy Donovan didn't really have that much success in that. I mean, the Thunder were just good before. They were kind of the same
Yeah,
before and after he came, like with Scott Brooks. I feel like I'm
he had a
forgetting
good
some.
year with when we made the bubble. Like I think that's probably like his best accomplishment as a coach.
That was a Chris Paul year, bro. That was.
Yeah,
Hey, I mean, maybe you can say that let's start with the Bulls in 2021 to 22.
right.
It's a good one, but yeah. Yeah, but no, I don't know. I think it's interesting for the Mavs to get someone like so brand new. And again, potentially a development guy. So it could
Yeah,
help Cooper and the young guys.
and we'll
Okay.
see if it
Um,
affects how they draft.
yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see if they get a Michigan guy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to do a quick mock draft? I mean, again, we will be reacting to the draft tomorrow. Do a quick segment on that as well. But like since we're here, do you want to do it one real quick?
Why
We
don't
don't have to
you,
like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, why don't you start us off and I can give my thoughts
Okay,
on some of these picks. Yeah.
let me pull
So,
up
I
the
mean,
order.
I could give you, I kind of have like a top 6 to 10-ish. After that, it kind of gets murky for me. But I could give you like my thoughts on the fit for like the top 10 guys for sure. Um,
Yeah,
who
okay.
do you have going first in your draft?
I think it's AJ DeMonsa or Darian Peterson. Seems like those are the two at the top. AJ seems like the clear number one, because he's had just like a better season as a college player.
Mm.
Um, it seems like wings with skill are a more in demand group of players as well. I
Yeah.
might lean Darren Peterson personally, to be honest, as
Mm.
a prospect. I just like those type of players a little bit more. What he can bring as an off-ball scorer, his versatility, his defense. As good as AJ is, he's a little bit one-dimensional right now, in my opinion. Very good downhill, super shifty, has a mid-range jumper. Not a complete three-level scorer, but we do expect to see that in the future because he just has good mechanics and is a very good bucket getter, has great fluidity and a handle for his size. And I instantly think he's going to be a great paint scorer and like a guy who can get to the line immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think personally I might lean Darren a little bit as like a just in my personal evaluation. But I think yeah, AJ's definitely seems like the guy who's gonna be the number one pick here for the Wizards.
Yeah, I think everyone has AJ going number one. Like you said, he can't really shoot the three, but he's working with a shooting coach apparently to get
Mhm.
his like three ball like to get his form better. It looks really ugly right now after seeing a
Yeah.
few clips I have. All these guys killed it in the combine. Like AJ had an amazing combine performance, as did Cam Boozer, in terms of like mobility and shooting. So all these guys are very like have really impressed. Like you said, AJ can shoot the ball. He can get to the rim very easily, and he has potential to be an elite defender. More so than Darren Peterson does, I think, given just
Yeah.
his size and his like agility. He said he watched like I'm getting a lot of Tatum comps from him. I'm also seeing like Tracy McGrady comps.
Hmm.
And maybe Kawhi Leonard. I think he's like his frame, if he could end up being a Kawhi Leonard type of player, that'd be very scary because his athleticism is just insane. But I fear that I'm not sure the shot is ever going to come around. to like as fluid as like a Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was an elite shooter when he entered the NBA. And
Yeah.
that's definitely not what age like you would hope it's more of a Leonard type of thing where you'd hope he develops it. He seems I don't know if he watched he's going on like every podcast imaginable, but he
Hmm.
seems very, very sure of himself, like pretty cocky. I hope it ends up well for him, but I definitely think like he is the consensus number one pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, who do you?
I was just gonna say I had a couple like floor ceiling descriptions for
Oh
all
yeah.
these players. For my floor, it's pretty low for AJ. It seems a little mean, but I think he's a taller Ben Mathurin. And just very similar vibes in my opinion. The downhill scoring, the craftiness around the rim, the explosiveness as well. And then I think his ceiling is like T-Mac, like Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Just pretty exciting in the mid-range, 6'8", like real do-it-all forward. Yeah, just a super exciting offensive
Hey,
prospect.
bigger Ben Mathurin is not that bad, dude.
Yeah,
But
no, like this is a number one pick we're talking about. So like I
yeah,
still have a high expectation for him.
yeah, I mean, my ceiling for him, like you said, it would be like a, it sounds crazy, but like a LeBron Kawhi hybrid, like the LeBron athleticism with a Kawhi like kind of offensive game, Kawhi offensive game plus more explosiveness, I guess.
I don't see the
Um,
Kawhi offensive game because he's so reliant on his handle. Like he's like a lot like T-Mac and Shea kind of vibes. Like that's what he's described himself as is
mm.
really flexible handle, really shifty, start and stop, really physical. So as good as Kawhi is, he's a little bit more like reliant on like the pull up,
I'm not sure how
not as yeah,
his
downhill
shiftiness is gonna translate to the NBA though, dude. He doesn't like he's not
he's
that quick to me. Like I don't know. I think he takes like big steps, but I'm not
for
sure that
sure.
it's like the quick like it's not I don't know if it's like Shea. That seems like kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah. I mean, Shea's guarded by like the best defenders in the league. I think AJ's probably going to go up against like more wing size guys where he can get
maybe.
around them.
Yeah.
Um, and then that's something he could definitely develop to his game.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the second pick. Who do you have going? I have Cam Boozer being taken.
Really?
Yeah, just
I,
because I've seen enough about, like, I think the Carlos Boozer connection is one thing, but I've
mhm,
also seen enough being said about the Walker Kessler and Jazz fallout. So it seems
mhm.
inevitable that they get like, I feel like they're gonna get a big. Um, and Cam Boozer, he can play the three,
Yeah.
four. Then you have Laurie and Jaren Jackson Jr., so one of those guys will play the five, and it's probably Jaren. So you have a nice, huge, and like very, very good defensive front court right there. You have Keontae George running point, and then you have Ace Bailey maybe as your two. That's a good looking team. So I would be excited for them. I know you could also say Darren Peterson at the two and Ace Bailey at the three, but I don't know. I think with the Kessler fallout, it kind of comes at an opportune time for them to take Cam Boozer. I mean, this guy, it's like he doesn't really make a ton of mistakes. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like his floor is definitely higher than the other two guys. I think it was Sam Vicenzi that said that Cam Boozer is like Pistons Blake Griffin, which is very funny. I
Yeah.
totally see it. Like he relies a lot more on his like physicality and like finesse to score the basketball. It's not super flashy, which is
Mhm.
why people are left unimpressed a lot of the times. He's a very solid passer. He's very, very smart just in general. He
Yeah.
shot the three well in the draft combine. He's definitely way more mobile than he looks, but he's
Hmm.
very, very strong at the same time. So yeah, I'm still not super high on his ceiling. Like, I'm not sure that he's going to be a very explosive scorer, that he can be the number one option on a team at his best, the way I think AJ and Darren can. But he seems like a very, very safe pick at number two, and who knows, he might prove us wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree with basically everything you said. Like he's super good. Like the driving game, he's a better shooter than I would have expected from a guy. Great free throw shooter, shot 40% from three, could like actually shoot pull up threes, run pick and roll of himself. Amazing post up guy, like you said. Great at sealing his defenders, getting rebounds. Super strong. Like he's probably the strongest guy in the draft at
Yeah.
6'9". So yeah, like super polished. Like you said, I do struggle to see like the high potential as like a superstar with him. Which again, I think it's the popular opinion, right? Like high floor, low ceiling with
Yeah.
Cam Boozer. But yeah, like super good. I think he's number three for me. I have Darren Peterson number two, just because I think, again, the athleticism, the fluidity, the shot, it just screams like a star guard to me. Like these two guards who can really impact the game as a tweener point guard, shooting guard. The question for me with him is like, can he get to the point guard level where he can make like, reads and obviously the question marks with his injury history. He had like a hamstring injury problem in college. He had the cramping problems
Right.
with the
Yeah.
creatine, is what people say.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the shot looks great. He was a super high, in high school, he was just an impressive guard on ball, which he wasn't as much in Kansas. He was super off ball in Kansas. But his downhill attacking is pretty incredible. He's super fluid in the lane. And yeah, I'll go quicker for the next ones. But for here, yeah, my floor for him was like a Rip Hamilton type, and then for my ceiling, I had kind of like a mix between Anthony Edwards and Bradley Beal.
Dude, these are some high floors you're saying. Rip Hamilton versus Bradley Beal. How much worse is Rip Hamilton than Bradley Beal is?
I'm
Rip
saying
Hamilton,
mix of Anthony Edwards and Bradley Beal.
yeah. Yeah, for my floor, sounds kind of crazy. I would go Alonzo Trier, perhaps.
Jesus Christ. It's the
Dude,
number
they're
two
the
pick,
same
dude.
player. But yeah, I mean, you're saying floor. No, Darren Peterson, again, I saw another comparison that was amazing. Ray Allen, like prime Ray Allen, extremely athletic and quick and can shoot the basketball and get to his spots very well. I like that comparison a lot. Um, but like I
Yeah.
said, this guy just has so much swagger when he plays basketball. He is very comfortable rising up. He takes like toughest shots against anyone, and he's still incredibly efficient. He can score from all three levels. He's super sneaky athletic. And yeah, just like extremely polished for someone that young. It is concerning his work. I don't think it's fair to call out someone's work ethic, but I think like his passion, is it crazy to say, for like the game is a little, it's just, I don't know. We said the same shit about Anthony Edwards though when he entered the league, and like look where
Yeah.
he is now. So it's,
He
I don't
gives
know,
very much like Kawhi Leonard vibes to me, where he's a little
maybe,
like a pompous and kind of like, like it's just like very confident in his own abilities, not like he's like a guy who doesn't work hard. I think he works really hard, but it's more just like a little like, a bit of a diva because of his own confidence of who he is.
but that makes me like,
And I think stars are like that, so I'm okay with it.
I don't know. It kind of scares me him as like a leader in the future. Like AJ definitely seems, and even Cam maybe as more of like a do as I like do as I do type of leader. But Darren, I'm not really sure if he's ready for something like
Yeah, I mean,
that.
he's go in my draft, he's going to Utah, which is a much more like situation that has a lot of guys who are like built for that type of, he doesn't have to be a leader immediately, is kind of my point there.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then, Cam Boozer, I said already, I kind of see him as like his floor is like, again, maybe floor isn't the wrong word. I'll go with instead of floor, like he meets expectations and then ceiling. So meeting expectations like a shorter Alperen Şengün. And then his ceiling, I would go like a mix between Kevin Love, Sabonis, with a little bit more of a driving game to him.
Sounds literally like Blake Griffin, bro.
Yeah, no, Pistons Blake Griffin's a great call, actually. I didn't think about that.
Right. Can't shout out, yeah, shout out to that was a very good comparison.
All right,
Um,
number four, I think we probably both have Caleb Wilson.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm not sure that I still don't know if that's the right pick to make, but he
I think it
seems like
is.
the highest upside of all of
I
these
think
guys.
he's pretty clear of everyone else below him. That's my perspective. Like the talent is just at another tier where you kind of can't go in another tier below just for fit for a roster that you ultimately don't believe is like really that
He's
good.
athletic, bro, but like again, and the motor, like gets after every single
Yep.
like loose ball, every rebound. He has played all of the guys above him, and he's outplayed all of those guys above him. At different times he's played them this year, but I don't know. He's so raw. He can't really handle the ball very well. He doesn't really have like a go-to shot. He's just super athletic, kind of powers his way to the rim, and I'm not sure how that's going to translate in
I
the
think
NBA.
I agree his offensive game is a little raw. I think you're kind of underrating his mid-range. He has a really nice mid-range turnaround game where he can, again, he's very reliant on the post up, but he can dribble, push defenders, and then just turn around and fade and be pretty effective at that. Really not a three-point shooter at all. I don't even know if that's something that can be developed. But for me, I think the floor for him is like a John Isaac with a little bit of a mid-post game. Obviously not the defender of John Isaac,
That's the
but
thing.
like
Then what even is he? Because John Isaac,
I
all
mean,
we
he's a
know,
very good defender, but like John Isaac is like one of the like the best you
yeah,
could see. Like, and then I think his ceiling is like basically a shorter Giannis, dude.
yeah,
He's some of the athletic
absolutely.
plays are insane. He might be like one of the best transition players in the NBA day one. Um, and then
I
like
think
the yeah,
I think it would be ideal for him if he develops Pascal Siakam the way Pascal
right.
Siakam did, like a more athletic version of him. That would be crazy. That would be practically Giannis,
Yeah.
right? If you can, like Pascal Siakam is someone who definitely came into the league raw, but developed a very, very good jump shot, became a very, very good passer, has developed a very, very solid handle for someone of his size. And again, he is a terror in transition, despite not being nearly the having nearly athleticism of Caleb Wilson. Now imagine Pascal Siakam had Caleb Wilson's athleticism.
Yeah,
So
I don't love to play those games because it's like again, Siakam's like another guy who's a late first round pick, had just such an insane improvement track.
yeah,
It's hard to project these guys to get to that level, but I agree. Like a lot of the post ups, like the early Siakam, what he was good at, like the turnaround, the post ups, the transition play, like I think that's kind of where he will be day one as a
yeah,
prospect, and then the other stuff is where kind of where he can develop. Moving on to number five, I have Keaton Wagler from Illinois. A real, combo guard at number. He's like 6'5", can really shoot the three ball, makes good passing reads. Really, really mistake-free player. His problems come. He's not super athletic in the lane. Can have troubles finishing. To me, he's like a Tyler Hero-esque player. I think that's kind of where I see him at his, where I expect him to play. And then I'm not even sure what his ceiling is, to be honest. Again, it's like ranges of Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero on a good day is his ceiling. Tyler on a terrible day is probably his floor. That's kind of where I'm at with him.
yeah. I mean, Keaton Wagler again, like I think the size is the biggest thing here, especially for the Clippers, and you already have Darius Garland.
Right.
You probably don't want to get another small guard in Darius Acuff, who I do think is better than Keaton Wagler. Um, I also had Keaton Wagler going number five for that exact
Yeah.
reason. He's just a big, like a 6'5", like could be like a LaMelo type of player if they're lucky. Um,
Just
and
not
yeah,
nearly the passer at all.
but I mean, the shooting to me is what really stands out for him. What
Yeah.
he shot 40% in college.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but like you said, it's the floor is kind of low with him compared to Acuff, in my
I
opinion.
think he could really struggle in the NBA with the NBA sized athletes. Like that's
Yeah,
definitely a concern.
yeah.
Number six, I feel like we're gonna differ. Who do you have?
I have Darius Acuff.
Yeah, I have Mikhail Brown Jr. From Louisville. What do you want to talk about Acuff?
I don't know. Acuff to me was like very clearly. I thought Acuff could be taken as high as four like elite shoot, like elite scorer, like three-level scorer.
Yeah.
He's also has like he's a not a great athlete, but an okay athlete. A very very good passer. Like I feel like he kind of answered that call because I heard that coming out of high school, his passing was definitely a question mark. People thought he was like a one-dimensional player, like a pure scorer. But no, he averaged like I think 7 assists in college or something, 25 points a game. And then the only problem is that he does not play defense. And in countless interviews afterward, it seems like he doesn't give a shit about defense, which is something that has to change if he wants to be good. He gives me Dame vibes. He seems pretty, I don't know, I think his game is quite well rounded offensively the way Dame's is. He said he wants to be like Jalen Brunson. Again, like not a bad player to kind of try to play like. And I think a team like the Nets, again, I know they already have a ton of point guards, but a team like the Nets should be taking best available, and I feel like it's him. What do you think about Mikal Brown?
Well, about Acuff, I really like him as well. Again, the defense is just such a concern. Like you said, great three-level scorer, can really pass. And I like the size. Like he's not a small 6'3", right? He's a pretty big. I mean, he's probably not 6'3". He feels like more like a 6'1", 6'2" kind of guy who says he's 6'3", but he's like a big 6'1", 6'2", where he's like
Yeah.
Brunson-esque with the size and the build,
Mhm.
and he's physical. Um, what I don't again, the defense is such a question mark that I'm just like.
Yeah.
I'd rather, and he seems like he really wants to go to Sacramento as well, so that's why I'm kind of pushing him down a slot where it seems like he wants to go to Sacramento. Sacramento really wants him. And I think the Nets might like Mikael Brown more. Mikael Brown, just an insane shooter. Insane in good ways and bad ways. He takes a lot of terrible shots, but he
Yeah.
takes really deep ones and can really make them. At 6'5", he's a really great driver, gets downhill, and a really great passer. So he kind of like is Acuff, a little taller, a little less efficient. I think that a lot to like from him as well. For me, Mikael Brown, his floor is like an Anthony Simons, but for me, where you got Dame vibes from
From the
Acuff, I
NBA.
got Dame vibes from Mikael Brown. Uh, Not obviously the shooter Dame is, but like and a little bit better of a passer in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
No, I,
then
I I
yeah.
can see what you. I mean, he's definitely a very good passer. I think that's what you definitely better. I can honestly see LaMelo vibes from him too. Just being
Mhm.
like he's like a. They're both
He's a
pretty
really good
big.
live dribble passer, yeah.
Keaton Wagler and what's his name are both pretty like tall point guards. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
get LaMelo vibes from them. But yeah, we'll
It
see.
just like the height isn't like there. Like Keenan Wilder's 6'6", Mikal Brown 6'5", like LaMelo's like 6'8", like it's a little
Yeah,
different, yeah.
very tall. I mean,
Yeah. And then moving on, I had Acuff at 7. Who do you have at 7?
I have seven. I have Kingston Flemings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have him at 8, so like those three guards kind of in that same tier for me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about um,
Yeah, I mean,
Brown?
just a super shifty guard, like super like insane first step. I'm really impressed with his mid-range pull-up game. It really gives me like a Shea kind of vibe where he can just kind of float anywhere, take a guy off the dribble and just like find a way around the basket. Not a great three-point shooter, has some defensive flashes where in college he was a good defender, but his tools aren't that great. He's like 6'4" with like a 6'5" wingspan, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
and he's very skinny. So it's like those are the real question marks. He makes good reads. He's a good playmaker. So all these guys are good playmakers. All these guys have defensive question marks. Um, but yeah, Fleming's I think because of he's the shortest. I mean, he's not the greatest shooter out of the three, and there's some question marks there. I have
small.
he gives me like De'Aaron Fox vibes. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think that's
player
like the
that emulates him
biggest.
more. Yeah.
I I've been seeing a lot of Tyrese Maxey and De'Aaron Fox vibes from him. The only
Hmm.
issue is Tyrese Maxey has developed an elite, like he's become a
He's an
like
elite
very,
shooter. Yeah.
very good three-point shooter. I'm not sure Kingston Flemings can get there. It's easier said than done. De'Aaron Fox, we've seen like I think the issue with smaller guards is like those who can't shoot, we've seen them struggle. There's not a single elite small guard who cannot shoot the basketball. Jalen Brunson is a very, very good shooter. De'Aaron Fox is not, and we saw him against the Spurs. I mean, against the Knicks look like shit, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of scares me. Kingston Flemings doesn't really have a three-point shot at all, and yeah, he relies a lot on explosiveness, athleticism, but he's also very like frail. I don't know. I think he has the lowest ceiling out of all of these guards that we've talked about so far by a mile.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, that's kind of why he's below for me.
Yeah.
Again, Mikael Brown is the only person I'm kind of debating between between these two. They're all kind of similar in their yeah, they're kind of all in a similar tier for me.
Yeah, I mean, he did shoot better than I thought, just on lower volume. Like he didn't really shoot a lot, like 38.7%, but just like like
That's not
5.7
his
attempts, like
game.
that's pretty good. It's just not his game. Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah.
He's just definitely more of a mid-range player.
Yeah.
Moving on to
I've seen
number
tons of
9.
red flags with him. Like people are really like not super high on Kingston Flemings.
I see it
And
again. It's very mixed from what I'm seeing as well. Like a lot of people are like, this guy could be, Maxi Fox level, and then the other guys are like, he's just too skinny and doesn't have a real wingspan, where the defensive tools are just not enough to like he's just gonna be picked on like a cuff.
yeah. Yeah.
Who do you have at 9?
I have Braden Burries at 9.
Okay, I have a Mara, but I feel like I'm too swayed by a couple things. The Dusty May signing from Coach.
Yeah.
They love the size, and then someone mentioned I think it was on the No Ceilings pod. It was the fact that they have Mike Schmitz, who is their GM, loved Hansen Young in the draft last year. Very similar kind of player. Very,
It's
you know,
bad that he loved Hanson Young in the draft last year.
yeah, I agree. But it's a type of player he likes. Size, skill with the passing, and the finishing touch. So just that's something I thought about. So I thought it made a lot of sense to have Mara, especially with how injury prone Lively's been. It's kind of a question mark at this point.
I feel like for the Mavs, you don't want. I don't think you'd want. I mean, I know he'd be a good fit against with Flag, but I feel like you're giving Derek Lively another. You want to kind of give Derek
Yeah,
Lively another chance coming back from this injury. I think Braden Burries, you totally have a spot to fill at the two guard, right?
right.
You want to score someone to put next to Cooper Flag as another scoring option, and someone who can actually handle the basketball and who can shoot. So I feel like Braden Burries is like a very, very good option for these guys. I mean, I saw someone, I think on the Warriors podcast, they were like, there's no shot Braden Burries falls to the Warriors, but you wouldn't even think twice about taking him if he does fall. I don't know. I think you have you this is a guy who can immediately average 15 points a game for you, and he kind of fits in any different lineup. So yeah. I don't know. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Braden Burries?
Yeah, no, he's really good, really complimentary scorer, can really shoot, great in transition, good defender. So it's like a perfect kind of 3 and D guard, combo guard that you want. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for the Mavs and kind of I would probably go there if I were the Mavs. Just that's the I just thought, maybe that's kind of the direction they're going because of that new coach that they because of Dusty May as their coach.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw it out there. Again, I really like Mara. These 7-3 guys like Klingon, like the ED, have just been shown to be super impactful on the glass because of how much the possession game matters now. Great rim protectors. Mara has that extra dimension with his passing, even though he doesn't, have the scoring element to him or the
Yeah.
shooting element yet that Klingon and ED both have. But the passing can really make him like an Isaiah Hartenstein maybe level player with that. So
Yeah.
uh, I think it's super interesting, and maybe Barry's makes more sense. I have him at 10, so it's like right at the
Okay.
same range. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the only guy I have lower than you is Mikael Brown, like that actually fell for
hmm
me is Mikael Brown. Again, I was thinking more for fit for a lot of these, but
Did
Mikael
you wait?
Brown,
Who did you have at 8? Did you have Mikel Brown at 8?
who did I?
Or
Let me scroll up. Wait, did I skip someone? I might have.
because you went from 7 to Kingston Flemings to 9 with the Mavs. So who do you have for the Hawks at 8?
Oh, I had Nate Amend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really? After
I
the
know.
Risa
It
debacle?
feels that's a problem, right? It feels like kind of a repeat of Ricochet, but like ideally, I feel like what they're building there, they kind of need some size, especially with CJ McCollum as your backcourt guy. And then who I don't even know who else is on the.
I mean, you can do Mara there with the center. Like they only have a Kongwu. They
I
don't
think
really have a
Okongwu.
backup big.
I think like I'm not sure Ade Mara is as mobile as Okongwu is. Like he's kind of like on the
I'm
slower
not saying as
side.
a replacement, I'm saying as another option for him. So you can go double big if you need it
No,
with
I
the
know. I'm saying like I think
yeah.
a team like the Hawks, you don't you want someone like quicker. Like you want to go small with Onyeka Okongwu at your center spot, and you want
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson at the four. So I wouldn't think like I don't think Jalen Johnson should be playing the three for you. So I don't know. I know
I'm
Nate
not saying
Amend.
Ademar has to start though, I'm saying he can come off the bench and be have big lineups if you want it. And if
Yeah,
that's
but
something that works
like
out.
I guess I'm thinking with all these guys like in the starting like a top 10 pick, I'm hoping that they are starting for you.
Nate Ament's not starting right now, dude. He is so
Yeah,
far
I know.
away.
He is like, dude, I know people are really, really low on him, but
He
he's been
shoots
like
less than 40% from the field
in
right
the
now.
field. Yeah, I know. I know. Similar to Ricochet, you know. It's like the same red flags, I guess. They're pretty similar with these guys,
Yeah,
but
I mean, Ament again, very good high school player, 5-star prospect,
yeah.
but like it hasn't really translated to college, and you kind of
Yeah.
going based off the tools and the high school play. It's not something I super believe in, so I would just prefer. I think I have him at maybe at 13 to the Bucks now
Sure.
that they have him with the like. I feel like that makes a lot more sense, like a team that's kind of rebuilding than the
Yeah.
Hawks, who are in a win now kind of a mode. And I think
Yeah.
with Fleming's there, another guard like Mikael Brown, it just makes a lot more sense to have a guy behind CJ because CJ's on a 1 year deal basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that extension, to have like a guy who can, have a red shirt, not a red shirt year, but like a 6 man year under CJ, and then CJ kind of helps him
Yeah.
develop into that guy who can replace him.
Yeah, I guess you want. I don't. I'm not. I'm kind of struggling because I feel like you need spacing, and I feel like Nate Ament, in theory, is that like big spacer that you
hmm
wanted with Ricochet. But I guess also having a bigger point guard in the backcourt could help. I'm not sure because I'm assuming they're gonna start Dyson Daniels for the defense, right? And Nate Ament can play defense for you.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, So who do you have? What pick are we on for you?
I just did pick 10, which was Bucks. I picked Braden Burries.
Okay.
So now I'm on 11 with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take him, but I just feel like there's no one left for the Warriors, and that's Axel Lendeborg because I'd rather
Okay.
have him go to the Thunder. Um, just like a super dynamic 3-4 kind of tweener, 6'8", really big, really great rebounder, can shoot at 38% on pretty high volume, pretty good finisher. Just like a super like PJ Washington-esque guy, a super good 3 and D wing. Now, and he guarded a lot of guards this year, and I did a decent job. So like, there's a level of defensive versatility there where he can kind of guard 1 through 5 in a sense. I don't expect him to really consistently guard ones, but as a wing defender, I think he's really good. And as a 3-point shooter, he's really developed into a player. And again, he's old. That's kind of the downside with him. He's 24. But
Yeah.
people have said like he has just shown improvement over his college collegiate career. He hasn't really played competitive basketball since like his age 20, like since he got to 20 years old, like he's started playing in like smaller schools, and that's kind of where he developed his game. So he's always shown signs of growth, and that's very possible he continues that throughout the big leagues.
Yeah. I mean, I had a Neymar going to the Warriors just because
Right. I have
like
him
you said,
earlier.
yeah, excellent passer, flashes of shooting. I've heard Andrew Bogut comparisons with a shot, Roy
Yeah.
Hibbert comparisons. Again,
I
with
don't
the
think he
ability
could
to
shoot.
shoot.
I don't think he could shoot.
Shot like what, 30%, 33% in college?
I
Something
don't think
like
so.
decent. Just when he shot at least 30%.
He shot
Yeah, 30%.
30%. Yeah.
So 30%.
On 0.5 attempts a game.
But what did he do in the combine?
Let's see.
I swear he had a thing of shooting.
But
Wow.
yeah, he barely shoots. I just don't think he's very like his free throw percentage isn't anything crazy. I don't think he's going to become a shooter personally.
I don't know. But still having someone again, it's very similar to Bogut. I feel like you have
Yeah.
someone pretty big. We haven't really had I guess we had Kristaps, and Quinton Post since then, but he seems like a good fit. Him, I mean, again, it's kind of between him. All the Michigan guys to me are good fits in the Warriors. You have Morez, you have Ade Mara, and you have Yaxel. Yaxel and Morez better shooters than Mara is, but Mara brings the most size to the team and the best passing. I think Yaxel. I don't know. I'm not as sold on him as I am for Mara. I fear that I don't think the shot creation kind of concerns me with him. I feel like he could be somewhat of a one-dimensional player offensively. And I'm not sure what did he shoot in college?
Shot like 38% from three on pretty decent attempts.
Oh, I thought he was a one dimensional.
37%
37.
on
Not bad.
yeah, on 8.6 attempts, like a good amount of attempts. It's like a real
Yeah.
shooter.
Yeah.
Or he's developed into one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
again, his rebounding pretty good. Again, just an old player. I feel like he's very good. Like
yeah.
there's not really a downside. Like you said, not a real shot creator, but for me, I don't care about that as a Thunder fan. Like I would really want to have Yaxel.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I think he's really good. Like I think he's a PJ Washington at his very best could be like an OG Anunoby type of player. Like I don't know if
Mhm.
the defense will ever get there, but like the offense and then like maybe 75% of the defense at OG.
Yeah. I mean I have him going to you guys in the with the 12 pick. I just think the fit next to Chet is amazing.
Yeah,
And
that would
Jalen
be
Williams.
ideal.
I think those three together are
We don't have
incredible.
a 6'8" guy. Like we really don't
Yeah.
have anyone at
He's
that
like a
size.
bigger bodied guy too. Like him and Jalen Williams will give teams a lot of problems at the rim. And then
Hmm.
obviously like defensively having him, Chet, and yeah, and Jalen Williams together would be great. So I have him. He could become a decent playmaker as well for you guys. But also like just stupid athletic and then can shoot the three, like you said, a bit at least. So yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think he's again really good. Um, for 12, I'm not sure. I kind of made this up on the spot. I have a big board, but like as a Thunder fan, I'm not loving any of the players. Um, there's a couple guys who I think make sense because at this point we need size, we need shooting. So Alan Graves makes some sense. He's a 6'8" guy who can really shoot 40% from three and plays great defense. Went to Santa Clara where J-Dub went to. Another guy's Abu Kokori he's a really dynamic driver. Again, another guy who can really shoot. shot 35% to 35% on nearly 10 attempts a game. So I think I'm between those two, and then maybe Cam Carr, who
Yeah, I was
kind
gonna
of a
say.
lot further down on some of the draft boards, with just inconsistencies. Other than his shooting, he's a pretty good shooter as well, but like there's not a whole lot else to his game.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with most of those guys. I know Cam Carr because I know he killed it in the combine and they literally took him out because they didn't want to, that he had shown enough.
Hmm.
So I feel like he could be the guy that like, I feel like there's always one guy who randomly shoots up draft boards who ends up not being that good.
Yeah.
Um, but I think he could totally be that guy in this year's draft. We'll see. But yeah, that's all. I don't really know most of these players past Yaxel, honestly. I know like a little bit of Kareem Lopez, Morez Johnson I'm familiar with, and Cam.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
oh yeah,
Mraz
well,
Johnson, actually. That's another guy.
yeah, I was
Really
surprised you didn't
physical, great
mention him
defender.
actually. Yeah.
It just we have so many defenders. It's like I guess we maybe like a 6'8", a really tough guy is like a guy for Wemby would make sense. It just he can't
Mhm.
really shoot. His offensive game is all around the basket. I just feel like shooting's such a big priority for the Thunder. That's all I thought,
All right.
there. But
Well,
again,
then,
he's been climbing up the draft boards as well.
huh. Well, the draft is tomorrow, so we will see what happens. Exciting times ahead.
Yep.
We could record a draft reaction sometime soon or just see like what moves are made. I'm sure there'll be some draft night trades, maybe some teams trading down. Um, given that there's like, I think there'll definitely be draft night trades just because there's like very clear tiers of players and there's like five in each of these tiers, so people
Yeah.
might not be very sure about who to pick. Um, but yeah, that's it for us at Change of Pace. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. Follow us on all socials, and we'll be back at you guys soon this week, hopefully.
Thank you.